You tune in to Floridian Rollo. I'm your host, Floridian Rollo, and I'm coming at you with another live stream. What's up, everybody? What's up, people? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? You see the title of the video? As you enter into the chat, make sure you double tap the like button on your way in. If you want my attention, you can support the Cash App, you can support the Venmo, or hit the Super Chat. That's how you get my attention. Meanwhile, y'all can interact with each other. Salute to the mods, to the members, to the chat room. All right. I'm going to holler at y'all. Let's get right to it. Give me 1 second. I'm looking for the content. All right. There we go. All right. Let's get right to it. Let's get right to it. Let's get to the content, y'all. All right. I see y'all in the building. I see y'all in the building. Let's make it happen. Without further ado, let's see what Stephen A. have to say.
Just Wednesday nights, what have you, talking about politics and stuff like that. But I felt compelled to come on the air a little bit earlier this week after what I've had to endure this weekend. What I had to endure this weekend were an abundance of people talking a whole lot of stuff about me because they did not like what I had to say about Representative Jasmine Crockett. She is a Democrat out of Texas. Texas's 30th congressional district. Her work, and her verbiage and all of that stuff speaks for itself. And she has become, a big time public figure in essence, not
Right.
just as a representative, but speaking out on a plethora of issues involving the current administration and the White House, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
And I made some noise last week because I had the temerity, the unmitigated gall to say this about Representative Crockett when talking about the state of our politics in the midst of a government shutdown, by the way, that has unfolded since October 1st. Take a
Correct.
listen to what I had to say last week, please. You
Correct.
Jasmine Crockett or somebody like that. Ladies, I respect intelligent women, no doubt. But how a Jasmine Crockett chooses to express herself, I'm like, is that going to help your district in Texas? Aren't you there to find a way to get stuff done as opposed to just being an impediment to what Trump wants? How much work goes into that? I'm just going to go off about Trump, cuss him out every chance I get, say the most derogatory, incendiary things imaginable, and that's my day's work. That ain't work. Work is saying that's the man in power. I know what his agenda is. I'm not exactly in a position to stop him since the Republicans have the Senate and the House. But maybe if I'm willing to work with this man, I might get something out of it for my constituency. Because like Joe Manchin said, he's there to represent, or was there for 15 years to represent the people of West Virginia. She's supposed to be there to represent the people of Texas. I don't know. Maybe that just sounds ignorant because it's so simple. But it ain't that damn complicated. We make it complicated. Damn, it's frustrating. It really can be. And all the verbiage and all the nonsense that I've heard over the last few days.
Right.
is why it can get exhausting. Because nothing frustrates me more than when people have the truth at their disposal.
Right.
And they choose, maybe not lie, maybe not even embellish,
Okay.
but allow their emotions to usurp facts, and all of a sudden want to use that as an excuse to label me as being something and doing something I'm neither not nor have I done.
Because they love war, Stephen A. Smith. And just because I don't agree with certain things you talk about or say from time to time doesn't mean that you're not correct on this scenario. That's the difference between me and these Ibarassis is we could agree to disagree, and you're calling her out based on how she's moving and how she's articulating herself and how she's acting a fool in front of a larger crowd. That's why they put it on her, because they know she's a fool and she's not making sense of what she's talking about. And she's representing the District of Dallas in Texas, particularly the South District of Dallas, which needed a lot of cleaning up. South Dallas need a lot of cleaning up. It is a mess down there in South Dallas. A mess. You can't pay me to go to South Dallas. I've been to North Dallas. I didn't even go to what they consider downtown Dallas because that's near South Dallas. For the most part, it is. When you go to the downtown Dallas, it's near South Dallas, near the hood. Okay? Now, some of the hood people, yeah, they go to North Dallas here and there. They go to the Gallery Mall and they go to this place, that place. You see them here and there in spurts. The ones who have some money. Now, how they getting the money? You know how to get the money for the most part. We ain't got to get into all that. You know, I know, they know. The point is, the reason why people have an issue with Stephen A. Smith is because they love Jasmine Crockett. They kissing her behind. You have a bunch of simps like Charlemagne the God, DJ Envy. Willie D is a super simp. Willie D is a super Saiyan simp. Jasmine Crockett will not even give him a time of day, and he's validating her 24/7. You got a bunch of men, vagina simps, impotents that want to get with her so badly. They don't want to take care of her. They want to get with her. You got a lot of the guys like that. They'll get with a woman like that, do something with her. They won't take care of her. It's business at the end of the day. Jasmine Crockett is messing up her jurisdiction of funding, of getting the help that she asked for when she's not moving correctly. Let's continue.
Which in this case is disrespecting Representative Crockett out of Texas, who, by the way, has had an invite to this show for weeks, by the way.
She does not want to come to the show because she don't want to have a dialect. She don't want to have a dialogue, Stephen A. She wants to argue. You're not going to let her argue on your show. If she can't have it her way and argue with you, go back and forth with you to get some brownie points, she's not going to come on the show. The entities, in this case, a woman, a deity, they're not going to come on the show. They're going to just talk noise beat with other miserable people.
Josh Shapiro and Spencer Cox came on this show. Senator Lindsey Graham came on this show. Joe Manchin, now retired, came on this show. Bill O'Reilly, Bill Maher came on this show. Okay? And more coming. And she has an invite. And AOC has an invite. Hakeem Jeffries, Democratic House leader, he just was on this show. I've invited Jasmine Crockett. I have nothing but respect for her. I just disagree on what she's making headlines for because I think it's counterproductive to the ultimate goal. But yet, here we are, and the word disrespect comes in, and people try to engage with words, you know, like disrespect and implying misogyny and all of this other nonsense. Stop it. Stop it. Can we be grown-ups and deal with what the real issue is involving what I said? Willie D, Roland Martin, Bakari Sellers, and Angela Rye, who I have profound respect for.
Call them out. Call them out.
I mean, the list goes on and on with all of these people. I don't have their names in front of me. To my producer that texted to me, I don't have my phone on me right now, so I apologize for not having those names in front of me. But I'm what are we talking about? How's it disrespectful to say what I said? Could you just disagree? Could we just say, yo, Stephen A., I disagree with you. Here's why. We got Willie D. Put up that quote, please. He's putting out quotes or text or tweets about me. Let's see that again. Stephen A. Smith taking shots at Jasmine Crockett ain't just messy, it's weak. Dude is sitting on one of the biggest mics in America, and instead of using it to uplift, he's tearing down a black woman who's out here putting in real work. That ain't critique, that's betrayal. Jasmine Crockett ain't the problem. She's the kind of woman who walks into rooms full of snakes and makes the snakes flinch. Meanwhile, Stephen's showing what happens when a paycheck gets louder than the principal. That's sucker shit, straight up.
You see the sneak dissing that Willie D is upset. So let me read it. It says Stephen A. Smith taking shots at Jasmine Crockett ain't just messy, it's weak. Dude is sitting on one of the biggest mics in America, and instead of using it to uplift, he's tearing down a B-Dub who's out here putting in real work. Okay, if you say so. That ain't critique, that's betrayal. What? Really? Jasmine Crockett ain't the problem. She's the kind of woman who walks into a room full of snakes, meaning you happen to be one. We already been exposing you. And mass the snakes flinch. That means you're talking about yourself projecting, Willie D. Meanwhile, Stephen A. showing us what happens when that paycheck gets louder. Wow, jealousy. Then the principal. That sucker is straight up. Just like people is pocket watching me right now. You got people pocket watching me right now. You got people that used to be on my platform in the chat, no longer allowed in the chat, who's talking about me every time they get a chance to. They say I'm grifting. They said that I sold out. They said I'm a tether. This, all these names, all this stuff. Talking about past relationships I'm no longer in. They worrying about all that stuff, and I'm like, you don't even got your own life together as a man. These dudes don't even got their own life together, and they worrying about me. I'm not even thinking about these dudes. These dudes is watching me right now because they have no life. They mad they not winning in life. They pocket watching. They saying that I sold my soul. I ain't sell my soul. They sold their soul. Anytime somebody telling you that I sold my soul, they the ones who sold their soul. They projecting at this point. And you got this simp talking about she's not the problem. The ones that's talking about her is the problem. No, you're the problem. You're the problem because you love those type of women that tell you what to do, right? Tell you how to sleep in the bed. Tell you how to use the restroom. Tell you how to TT correctly. You an itch. That's what you are. Jasmine Crockett will not even give you a time of day. All you guys that's caping for her, she will not even give you $1 to your name. If you ask Jasmine Crockett to support your establishment, she won't even come to your establishment. That's how much no respect she have for you simps. She'll use you, take advantage of you if you allow it to, and go to the next sucker. That's who she gets down with. She from the St. Louis, the Midwest St. Louis chicks. They get down like that. Y'all forgot she from St. Louis? They be vibing, violating dudes out there in St. Louis. All the time. Some of you have not been with a Midwest chick. I know how these Midwest chicks be going down. Remember, I used to be around different places. You got this sucker here in the chat. I don't need her money. You You are caping for her, though. You do want her money. You caping for her. You coming in here caping for her. She will not even look at your way. She will not help your situation, fool. Let's continue.
End quote. Wow, Willie D. You sure are uplifting. I mean, I got to be touched. That was inspirational. Really, that really, really was. That was inspirational. I'm doing sucker shit. That's what you call inspirational? That's what you call uplifting?
He a simp. Just like the simp in the chat talking about, man, you sound like you just look like a soft donut. You just bow down to Trump. No, you bow down to Satan. That's who you bow down to. You bow down to Satan. That's who you are. You bow down to Satan. You don't have no love for God and Christ. You don't have no love for your brethren and sister of America in various parts of the world. You're a sinner. You were sent here to distract. Don't block any of my moderators that's in the building. Don't block these people. Don't block them unless they get real disrespectful. I want them to, so world to see how much disrespect black folks have for me. You got black folks who can't stand me because I stand for truth. And I call it down the middle. I don't tiptoe for nobody. And this is the reason why they're upset with me. They want to know how much money I'm making. They want to know why you talk about this. I'm grifting. I ain't grifting. They're just mad that I'm making good moves. And this is the reason why they're upset. They're upset I get support. They're upset that I get subscribers. They're upset that I get the views and the reach for telling the truth. They mad. Let's continue.
Really? Now, I haven't heard everything that Roland Martin said, D.L. Hughley had to say, and all the other names that I mentioned, but I'm sure it's along the same lines. Nothing but respect. First of all, I'm going to be very, very careful about anything that I say about Roland Martin because he's a friend. I'm going to be careful about anything that I say about D.L. Hughley because I have respect for that man. We've spoken a few months ago. I got nothing but love for him. I am concerned about him not making people laugh and smile as much anymore as he used to because he's more of an activist now than a comedian, but that's a choice and that's his right, and nothing but love for him and respect. And anybody else too. My issue with Bakari Sellers is how he talked about me without ever speaking out or reaching out because you don't like a position that I took before or whatever, but you want to come on and sell your book after. See, I don't play that.
Just like how people came in the comment section and put their cash app, telling people to come to their channel and put their cash app. These people want to make money off your name, Stephen A. And you're not falling for it. Don't let these people use you. Don't let these people, just because they look like you, use you. Don't let them use you. You got folks out here on the internet say I'm using people. I'm not using nobody. I'm speaking the truth, and you mad that I get the viewership and the support with it because nobody's putting no money in your pocket. Do I beg people to support? No. I said if people want to get my attention, they should support the platform if they choose to. If they choose to. They mad that I'm not talking about them. They want me to talk about them so bad. I saw what they were saying in the clouds. And I know it's not true what they're saying. They just want to see people separated. If I'm this person that they claim I am, why they keep watching me? Because they don't have no life. Their life must be sucked to watch me. And yes, I'm getting paid even if you don't support. I'm getting paid for you to watch me. I'm not supposed to get paid for people to watch me, whether they support the platform or not. Do you know how to run a business properly? Most of these people, they're just going to continue to be workers. They're going to be working for me in the future. On a low end. You know why? Because they thought low of me. So at the end of the day, Stephen A., you don't have to be apologetic, because no matter what you do, no matter what you say, people are going to think less of you. Like I say, I don't agree with everything Stephen A. talks about and how he moved on certain avenues. That doesn't mean that he's wrong about this situation. You ain't going to see me disrespect Stephen A. like that, because he opened a lot of doors for so-called black people. Whether you like him or not, he opened doors for so-called black people. You can't take that away from him. Why these people like Willie D, Charlemagne, DJ Envy, all these simps that's backing Jasmine Crockett, why they not putting black people on to better their lives? You can say what you want about Stephen A. Smith. He opened doors for a lot of people in his field of media. Yet you have these simps who love to be in a lower society. And they want you to be on the kumbaya train, not me. When you kiss a woman's behind of her caliber, she will never respect you. She respects Stephen A. behind closed doors than she would ever respect Willie D and them. You know why? Because she has enough sense to know they only backing her because they want to get with her. Stephen A., it's like, I just want her to do things correctly. You have certain guys that get women and not even trying to get with them. They're cool with them for the most part. And the woman could see that they could be who they are as long as they're respectful. Whereas Willie D and them, they be trying to simp, sing, and all that other stuff, trying to get her attention. She would never respect you. Women respect men that stands up for himself. And when you stand up for yourself, even when you're wrong and you be apologetic and you move on, they respect that. A lot of you guys are afraid to be men. See, they want Stephen A. to be like the Willie D's, these simpletons, worrying about his pocket watching, mad that he's getting the money he deserved to get. Why are you mad he's getting the money he deserved to get? Y'all can't even do what Stephen A. do. Y'all don't even have it what it takes to do what Stephen A. do. All you simpletons in the chat talking ish about Stephen A., myself, you can't even go live right now and have a certain amount of people listen to you because you're boring. See you over here because I'm not boring. I know how to entertain and I know how to push the truth. You just mad your life sucks. Let's go.
Nonsense. I don't like that. Disagree with what I said. Say why without all the other nonsense. Got nothing but respect. Willie D got over 1 million subscribers. Man, props to you. Doing your thing. Wishing you nothing but the best. Not getting into all that nonsense. But let's deal with what I was saying, please. Can we do that? Can we be real? So let's take it. Let's take it back. Let's look at the resume of Jasmine Crockett. 30th Congressional District. By the way, the two senators that represent Texas is Senator John Cornyn and Ted Cruz, both Republicans. I'm so surprised. Okay? So you got them in Texas, and they're doing their thing, right? What are we talking about here in terms of Jasmine Crockett's district? 750,000 North Texans. Texas's 30th Congressional District, vibrant community in the heart of Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. That's the area she represents as a congressional representative. Earned her BA in Business Administration from Rhodes College and a...
He's gone through all her policies. Even though she did all of that, she's still a ratchet woman at the end of the day. Yeah, she got some things she did in college. I mean, there's a lot of people that's ratchet that gets degrees and still don't know how to present themselves to be correct. Anyway, he's going through the process. Let's go.
JD from the University of Houston. She's licensed to practice law in Texas, Arkansas, and the federal courts. So this is an accomplished, well-educated woman. Ain't nothing about her stupid. Ain't nothing about her something to dismiss or disrespect when it comes to her resume. Let's get that out of the way so as to make sure I'm not being disrespectful when we're talking about her, okay? What's her reputation? Crockett's performance in the House, according to research, and her success in delivering wins for her district is quote unquote mixed. She's active, ambitious, and visible, exceptional when it comes to fundraising. But many of her major efforts are still works in progress, bills stuck in committees, introduced but have stalled, etc., according to Congress.gov. I'm just reading.
All right, so that's it. That's it about that situation. We'll get right back to that in a moment. We're going to go to the passing of, because I got another clip I want you to see with the Stephen A. and Jasmine Crockett situation. Make sure y'all double tap the like button on your way in. I appreciate if you do that. Let me just say shout out some people's names in the chat. I see Robert in the house, Forever Studio in the building, Keystone in the building, Corey in the building. See Rob, that is. Corey Rob in the building. I see Mitch in the house. And I also see other people in the building. You know, people that has an issue with me is in the building. I'm not going to give them any attention. Just don't block them, moderators, as long as they don't be out of pocket. They could agree to disagree. Make sure you double tap the like button on your way in. That's actual support. You know, so let's get right to this situation of D'Angelo passing away. Condolences to D'Angelo's family. He passed away at the age of 51. Let's see what they're saying about it. One of the greatest artists of my time. He's a few years older than me. He passed away at 51 years old. He started very young. Let me go to Access Hollywood. Let me go to Access Hollywood. Let me get it ready. Tell me what was your favorite D'Angelo song, y'all. Tell me what's your favorite D'Angelo song. Put it in the chat, y'all. What's your favorite D'Angelo R&B song? Put it in the chat. Let's see what they have to say. Let's go.
D'Angelo has passed away at the age of 51. The Grammy-winning R&B artist died on Tuesday after battling cancer. His family confirmed the news in a statement that reads, quote, "The shining star of our family has dimmed his light for us in this life. After a prolonged and courageous battle with cancer, we are heartbroken to announce that Michael D'Angelo Archer, known to his fans around the world as D'Angelo, has been called home, departing this life today, October 14th, 2025. The statement continues, remembering his legacy and asking for privacy amid the tragic news. We are saddened that he can only leave dear memories with his family, but we are eternally grateful for the legacy of extraordinarily moving music he leaves behind. We ask that you respect our privacy during this difficult time, but invite you all join us in mourning his passing, while also celebrating the gift of song that he has left for the world." DJ Premier, who worked with D'Angelo on the song Devil's Pie, also posted about the news on X.
So he did a song called Devil's Pie. I got to look into that, see what it's about. He did a song according to this DJ Premier. DJ Premier been out for a long time in the New York streets. Listen to this.
Who worked with D'Angelo on the song Devil's Pie, also posted about the news on X, writing, quote, "Such a sad loss to the passing of D'Angelo. We have so many great times. Gonna miss you so much. Sleep peacefully, D. Love you, King." During his career, D'Angelo won 4 Grammys and was nominated 14 times. He was known for hits such as Lady, Unshaken, and Send It On.
So someone got it correct. C. Rob got it correct. Lady was one of his top songs Brown Sugar is definitely in my bucket list, and Lady definitely is in my bucket list. When you listen to D'Angelo, Brown Sugar is definitely on my top one though. Let's go to more. Let's go to his last video. Give me 1 second. I want to go to his last video. I think he has a YouTube channel. Let's see if he left out any last words. Did D'Angelo left out any last words? Okay, I could play this. He's gonna talk. Let's see what he was saying a year ago. He was on a particular channel called Nelson George. So this is him last year. Let's listen.
First and foremost, and like to me, he's a blues man. To me, he's just like blues man out of space, from outer space. You know, it's as primitive as it is, and as futuristic as it can be at the same time. So yeah, man. You know.
Yeah, one of the interesting things that is that, you know, when I was talking to like people about the Ohio Players and Sugarfoot, and a lot of what you get out of when you listen to all his bands is that funk has this, it's R&B, but it's also blues.
Yes.
In a way that only people appreciate. A lot of those bands, all those Midwestern bands, they're all just country boys. Their family stopped in, you know, Dayton.
Dayton, that's right.
You know.
Yes.
Are you really familiar with, you know, how many bands came out of Dayton?
I wasn't until I saw that piece on Ohio Players, and then I was like, wow, that's right. You know, you got Zap, Ohio Players, of course, so many. Slave. Wow, it's crazy.
So, I want you to talk about, I mean, you have a lot of influences in your music, but what is funk, how does funk play a part in your, how did it play a part in your development? What's the first time you recognized funk as a different thing from, let's say, gospel or jazz or whatever?
Well, the first one to kind of like be the catalyst to kind of like point the way was Prince to me. That was it for me. And I was so young when say Dirty Mind came out, like to me that was the shift. You know, that's when he kind of put his flag in the ground. And I was 7 years old. So I was so young, but my brain was so open for what it was. But I mean, that was the catalyst, because everything that I guess would kind of influence him, or that I learned influenced him, that's what I wanted to go seek after. So, you know, I went and aggressively sought after James Brown, or, you know, George Clinton in Parliament, Funkadelic. I could tell that he was influenced by Ohio Players, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, he kind of, you know, pointed me in the direction to hear all that. And I don't know, I guess during like the late 80s, early 90s, when sampling became such a big thing, and it was...
The only thing I want to say is that a lot of talented people get robbed from these people. Even your own people will rob you. Will we all agree that the main people that rob these artists of their talent is people that look like you? Put a yes in the chat. We know about the other people. Before the other people got involved, your own people was robbing guys like Prince, guys like him, women and men who were talented. They didn't have no money in their pocket, y'all. It's the same thing with some of these companies. They only give you a little something to get by, not for you to take care of yourself and those around you. A lot of talented people, they took a lot of money from them, y'all. A lot of money. Family, so-called friends. Y'all have no clue how ruthless the industry was back in the days. It was ruthless, y'all. Even when I was covering the Brooklyn Nets, I seen it with my own eyes how ruthless and how much people is in these people's pockets. By the time they get their money, you want to know how much they had left to their name? Put a 2 in the chat if you want to know how much they had left to their name. Put a 2 in the chat if you want to know how much money they had left in their name. Put a 2 in the chat. Put a 2 in the chat. It will make you think about the way things are when it comes to economics. Why it's better to do your own thing. Put a 2 in the chat if you want to know. Okay. We got some participants. Let's just say that they'd be lucky if they have 1,000 saved to their name. You know how much people is touching their money before they touch their money? You got over 150 people touching their money before they get whatever is left over. So if they don't do concerts, if they don't do public shows, they'll be in the street. No matter if you're in the sports entertainment or artist, if you don't do your own thing, people from the top will take the most money, and then the middleman, your lawyers, they don't have nothing in their name. Moderators, any moderators in the chat, get rid of Gomez. Get rid of Gomez in the chat. I want Gomez out of here. Because Gomez is the same one who want to see you not have anything for yourself. And get rid of Christopher. Get rid of Christopher, moderators. Get rid of Christopher. Get these trolls out of here. Pack them up on out of here. Because at the end of the day, you have a lot of people who don't want to see you have anything. All these artists don't have nothing in their name when they're gone because somebody else is touching their obituary money. The children may not get to see the money until years later. That's why it's important to have stuff in your name and not have too many people involved because it will mess up your future generation's life. A lot of our talented people died broke, y'all. They died broke. Spiritually, mentally, and physically. You could see the stress on this man. Now, Keystone talked about he was with Angie Stone. That's true. They was with each other at one point in time. You'd be surprised what these artists go through. They go through a lot, y'all. And they have to put on this persona that everything's okay. When you look at him, he had to do this interview to get his money. And what you're going to start seeing, what you're seeing now, what I've been saying a long time, you got a lot of artists on the YouTube now monetizing their videos. You know what's crazy? These same people that can't stand me, They won't go tell Fat Joe he shouldn't get money. They won't tell Jadakiss he shouldn't get money. They'll support their platforms. Yet they'll tell me that I'm doing this, I'm doing that, when other people are doing what they're supposed to do to make money. I can't stand hypocrites, y'all. Let's continue.
It's about, you know, crate digging in the crates and getting samples and finding new breaks and what have you. And I started listening to things like Band of Gypsies that sounded like I couldn't tell whether if it was made back then or if it was made now, you know, because the same beat, it sounded like Premier. You know what I'm saying? Like Buddy Miles, the way he was hitting the drums sounded like Premier to me, you know, or the Meters. When I first heard the Meters, I was like, that shit sounded like it was made just now, you know, sound like Marley Marl or something, you know. So I guess that was the thing, because I started recognizing these common threads that kind of put all these things together. Hip hop, music that was being made back then, like the Meters and, you know, Band of Gypsies or what have you. So it's interesting because I heard a tape just recently of when James first got Bootsy and Catfish and them from King Studios or whatever, and they were like opening up. They were opening up for, you know, the real James Brown band. And so they just did like an instrumental set. So they was doing Jimmy, they was doing Power of Love. They were
These people pour their hearts into their craft. These people pour their hearts into their craft, and they got taken advantage of every single time by these people that look like them. And then you had that certain group that add on to the situation. Let me tell you something. I know business very well, and I can tell you that the people that look like you want to take everything that you work hard for. Do not allow them to do it. Even in these working environments, even if you have your own business, listen, take your time. Do not have everybody in your pocket. You see how many of these people pocket watching me right now? You a grifter. These people that be telling me I'm a grifter, be the grifters on these 9 to 5s, hustling and bustling, doing all types of activities, nefarious acts, yet telling me I'm doing it when they doing it themselves. This man died young, y'all, because he was dealing with a lot of stuff. Could you imagine you figure out this whole entire time you've been got all that talent, all them accolades known worldwide, and yet people been digging in your pockets, lawyer fees, this fee, this bill, that bill. The man was still singing in his 50s. Listen, when you're in this industry, you don't stop until you die, because everything starts adding up. See, I learned a long time ago, when you get certain things coming in, put certain things away for a rainy day, because you never know when it's going to come. It's very unfortunate. I think a lot of artists that's alive should tell the truth. Well, we know they're not going to tell the truth. Some will, some won't. Listen, they used to get 50 cents. 50 cents if their stuff was played on the radio or on Soul Train. 50 cents. And the managers would get a lot of money. The producers would get a lot of money. The person in charge of their record label would get a lot of money. This is a sign for anybody that's thinking about going to the industry. You don't need the industry, like Ringo say. Put your talent on the YouTube, Instagram. And if the people regularly digging your content, they will support your platform. I think that's the best way to go about it. Because signing these record labels, signing these deals, you don't have no say in your money. You don't have no say in your money like you think you do. There's a clause. There's a clause in your contract that they could freeze your money. Remember what young Pharaoh said? Remember what young Pharaoh and most of these content creators said that their money got froze? It happened to me before. When you talk about certain things and certain situations, your money could get froze. Put a 2 in the chat that ever happened to you. When you spoke on certain things that you notice your money get froze. How many of you been through that? When you start speaking that real truth, you better have money to back up because you're going to go through a drought. You better have some serious paper when you talk that real truth because you might go through a drought. They know how to do it too. So what I'm saying is a lot of people was fighting for the stations. Remember, people used to pull up at the station with guns, y'all, to get their record played. When I was coming up in the 90s, people used to pull up at the radio station with guns. Back in the days, you could go to the radio station without security. That had to change when they pull up with guns. The radio stations had to hire security. Ever since that incident, quote unquote, happened with Tupac, that's when they started having security at these stations. Before that, there was not too much security. You could walk right in and you could see an artist back in the days. Pull up on an artist. You can't do that now. So what I'm saying is that it's an unfortunate situation and he's surely going to be missed. Yet I just think that he was trying to get back what he lost, and it's just, listen, when you reach a certain high, listen, I don't think y'all really understand what I'm saying. When you reach a certain high and you find out that you're worth more than what they tell you, you will lose. Listen, anybody tell me otherwise, you're lying. If you find out how much you're worth, how much these companies is taking from you, how much these rappers and industry is taking from you, and they're giving it to somebody else, could you imagine you doing all this and you have a little bit to show towards the end of your life? I'm telling you. Be very careful of what you do and what you say, and make sure you have that money defense, like the Bible say, because this stuff is real, y'all. They was getting got back in the days. A lot of them was struggling, man. A lot of them was struggling. That's why a lot of them took substance, alcohol, drugs, had a bunch of women. I'm going to tell you this. Listen and listen well. There's a thing called aphrodisiac for women. Dudes used to use women as drugs. I'm going to say that again. Back in my day, because he's around my time, dudes in my era used women as having drugs. Having a lot of women was like a drug to a dude back in the days. I'm not saying him. I'm saying guys in my age group because he's in my age group. I know what I'm talking about. Yo, dudes used to tell me, man, they were so frustrated they used women as getting drugs if they couldn't get drugs. That was their high. Because they found out things that got them frustrated and they took it out on the women instead of the person that took it from them. It's crazy, man. It's crazy what's going on. Let's continue.
Playing the meters, you know what I'm saying? It's boosting them like rockets. So it all makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's kind of coming from the same tree. You know.
Yeah, it's amazing because Bootsy was it's almost like a generational thing.
Mm-hmm.
That he was coming from all of that, what was rock or progressive funk, and James was coming from the other side,
Mm-hmm.
coming to funk, but they were coming from different places.
Right.
And they met in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And it was funny because I think the reason it was short-lived, because they weren't together that long,
Yes.
was that they were going in different directions at the same time. And
That's
they
right.
met, and then they kept going.
That's right. That's right.
Talk a bit more about Prince in terms of funk, because it's interesting. Some people I've talked to were like, Prince marketed himself when he first came out, like, the time was, funk is dead.
Right.
And then the time kind of became the new kind of funk band.
Right. So there was no horns,
Right.
and they were using the synthesizers in the same capacity as, say, a funk band would use the horn section. Right.
And they got rid of the closing.
So was it like that? The time was like funk is dead?
That was one of the ads. Do you remember that, Alan?
Oh, Alexander.
Oh.
No.
Because it was almost like you kill the old to get to, you have to kill the old to get to new. Because when they came out, they dressed differently. They came
Yes.
back to Prince wore what he wore, but the time was suit and tie.
Right.
It was like gangster
Mm-hmm.
thing.
And they had these, I don't know, new romantic, new wave type
Right.
things moving in with it. But to me,
Did you hear that part? New age. Did you hear that part? New age. So they was getting down with certain scenarios, certain frequencies. Okay? Man, it's tough, man. It's tough. This guy was one of the greatest R&B in our time, man. And he's gone at a young age. Let's go to TMZ. We're going to play a part 2 to this, because I want to listen to that footage. Let's go to what TMZ has to say. Let's see if TMZ got anything they want to say. Okay, hold on one second. Give me 1 second. I got somebody that got the last words. Okay, I believe this person has the clip. Let's get right to it. Let me get right to it, y'all. All right. Let me get right to it. Here we go.
Hey, everyone. There's one video that's breaking hearts all over social media right now. D'Angelo's last video. Fans say watching it just once is enough to bring tears. But before we talk about that, let's take a moment to remember the man behind that smile. D'Angelo, the voice that redefined soul. The legend who made people feel every word he sang. He wasn't just a singer. He was the heartbeat of an entire generation. With songs like Brown Sugar, Lady, and the unforgettable Untitled, How Does It Feel? He didn't just make music. He created moments that touched millions. Sadly, that golden voice went silent on October 14th, 2025, in New York City, after a long, private fight with pancreatic cancer. He was only 51 years old. Just a year before his passing, he had collaborated with Jay-Z for I Want You Forever, a hauntingly beautiful track from the Book of Clarence soundtrack. Reports
Okay, we got something that is breaking news. He got a thing called D'Angelo and the Vanguard Black Messiah. Y'all see that? Put a 5 in the chat if y'all see that. So he died in New York City, and he put out a thing with Jay-Z, and then this was supposed to be D'Angelo and the Vanguard Black Messiah. Wow. Wow. Interesting. Shout out to this lady that pointed out this very informative material. I have to look into that. Very interesting. Okay.
Say he was also working with Raphael Saadiq on new music, still filled with the same passion and fire that made fans fall in love with him decades ago. D'Angelo was never about chasing trends. He was about chasing truth. His music carried pain, peace, love, and honesty. And maybe that's why people connected so deeply with him. He was real in a world that rarely is. And now
here's my thing. I like Raphael Saadiq. Now I get it. Jay-Z, I get that part. I mean, Jay-Z is what Jay-Z is. We know that. Raphael Saadiq, shout out to him because he's the truth. Raphael Saadiq is the truth. You know what I'm saying? What she just said is true. It's a lot. Listen, you don't think artists know that some of these artists were fake? We know it's a lot of fake people when we go to the workplace, when we go out and about. We know that. Yet artists been dealt with a lot of fake managers, fake promoters, fake this, fake women, fake dudes. You listen, when you start making real numbers, y'all, you're gonna start seeing the real fakeness in people. See, you don't see it as much as when you on the grind, you on the purpose. When you start getting in to your serious bag, like I tell you guys, and ladies, when you start getting into your serious bag, you're gonna see the fakeness in people's face that you didn't see prior to you getting to your bag, to your purpose. Don't think that D'Angelo did not see a lot of fake people in the industry and probably call them out, just like Prodigy. There's a lot of people that look like this. When you start doing well, and I'm talking about doing well from God's perspective, not my perspective, from God's perspective, and you have that glow, you have that look like you about to go somewhere, people that look like you want to tap you out of the situation, don't let them do it. Don't let them do it. You want to know people's true colors? Continue to win. Continue to get to the number you're supposed to deserve to get to. And watch this. Watch them try to irritate you. Let's go.
that last video everyone's talking about, it's not a performance. It's a short clip from the hospital, where D'Angelo is seen smiling, calm, and full of quiet strength. He looked peaceful, almost like he knew his time was near but wanted his fans to remember him with warmth, not pain. That smile is what's breaking people online right now, because it says everything his words never had to. Rest in rhythm, D'Angelo. Your voice may have stopped, but your soul, that'll echo forever. What's your favorite D'Angelo song? The one you can still feel every time it plays. Drop it in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that stay with your heart.
Man, that's tough, man. That's tough. That's real tough, y'all, for real. Real tough. All right. 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. I'm seeing something here. Hold on a second. Okay, so before Angela Stone passed away, she had a message for the man she used to deal with, D'Angelo Russell. Let's get to this one. Let's get to this. Let's get to what Angie Stone said. Somebody got this clip. Let's listen to it.
Again, a few more people, as I don't want to have to repeat myself, because what's happening in life is, everybody wants to, well, when you gonna do your biopic? People want to know about D'Angelo and I. I mean, my life does not start or stop with D'Angelo. Life goes on. It was going on before I met him. It will continue to go on. And I think people are so one-track minded that they really are, when are you going to do a story? Because they really want to say, can you tell us about D'Angelo? Okay, I'm going to tell you honestly, no, I just won't talk about one person, because there were many people in my life that had a significant space that meant, the world to me. Of course, D'Angelo and I were very good friends, but I need for you to know that as wonderful as that friendship has been, it came with a lot of challenges.
Uh-oh.
And I'll tell you the nature of the industry.
Uh-oh.
Based on a secret that I recently found out from someone who is credible, that let me in on some things that I didn't know even up until lately.
Uh-oh.
And I have to tell you, it was shocking.
Uh-oh.
Just to find out. But in any event, I will share them with you and let you know the devil don't play fair.
Uh-oh.
No, this is not Angie Stone's life story, but what it is a peek into what inquiry minds want to know. Back when I was in a very high-profile relationship with D'Angelo, shortly after the breakup between us, everything kind of slowed down in my world in terms of tour dates, work. The perception was the worst, of course. But I was accepting everything pretty good and said, look, life goes on. I can't stop because I have fans all over the world that are depending on me to keep doing music, to keep pushing through. So, of course, I'm trying to do tour dates and continue to work. And it recently came to me because, of course, people wanted to know my story. They wanted to do my biopic. And it came to me via one of the employees that worked for that company that represented him.
Uh-oh.
And they said to me, whoever's doing your story, can I please be a voice in the room? I would love to give some input from things that I knew. And it's time that the truth be told. And I'm like, well, what are you talking about?
Here we go.
Because the first you got to tell me. Well, it was told to me. Are you guys ready for this one?
Uh-oh.
Whew. Anyway, it was told to me that they were single-handedly put in charge of sending out letters everywhere to make people think that I was the cause of him being exposed to alcohol, to drugs.
Wow. So they blame her that she put him on to alcohol and drugs. Don't that sound familiar? How you doing, Bridget? Don't that sound familiar? Guys, when you're in a relationship with someone, people will go into that person's ear and people will try to go in your ear and make y'all separate from one another. So they make sure D'Angelo separated from his woman at the time, Angie Stone. There's a Bible script for that too. We're going to get to that another segment, because it's in the scripture in the book of Exodus, where if your master that you work for, if your master give you a woman and you have kids, it belongs to the master. It don't belong to you. We're gonna get that scripture on the pre-recorded video. Y'all must listen to that. Let's continue.
To everything that could have gone wrong, and we need you to mail this out. And that person knew that it was all fabricated, and they were willing to go on record. And they don't care today, but they're willing to go on record to tell the truth.
Uh-oh.
You can imagine how shocked I was to know that they actually mailed letters out into the industry blaming me for the fall and the demise of someone's career. It really gets me upset, because I don't do drugs, I don't do any of this stuff that a lot of people have fallen victim to. I will tell you this, as a young person, we all tried things, but no, I have never single. I wouldn't want the chastisement.
Basically, they was putting substance in his drinks and substance in his food, and they try to blame her for his downfall. Listen, they control you through sex and food. Listen. They tried to get me in the corn industry a long time ago. They tried twice. I saw Derek Jeter at a particular place in Park Avenue. They tried to get me in the corn industry to go to Las Vegas in 2005. 2008, when I went to Vegas. 3 years later, they tried it again. Different people, same company, tried to get me in the corn industry. They had a slim black woman and a thick white woman. And I was 380 pounds. I was 380 pounds in 2008, y'all. And I'm in Vegas in 2008. I met this lady from the Michael Baston show. She had a radio station in Vegas. She let me stay at the Rio Hotel. I don't ever forget it. And I went to the Rio rooftop. And the same company in 2005 recognized me being more heavier in 2008 and tried to get me into the corn industry at that time. They wanted me to be the Black Hugh Hefner. They had a ranch and everything. They had a private jet. They had all that in 2005. And I said, if I'm going to see Vegas for the first time, I'm taking my friend. They say your friend can't go with you. We want to take you by yourself. And I declined. And Derek Jeter was there. And I met Jose Reyes the same year, 2005. I had Jose Reyes in my Mercury Sable vehicle. May God strike me dead if I'm lying. On this live stream, I had Jose Reyes in my vehicle that used to play for the New York Mets. And he was at the spot on 8th and 9th, 10th Avenue. I forgot the district. The district over there in the 30s and 20s, over by 9th and 10th Avenue, before they flipping into these homes and stuff. They've been trying to get me for a long time. So what Mrs. Angie Stone is saying is they put stuff in your food and your drink. They give you women, they give you drugs, they give you alcohol to sustain you from knowing who you're supposed to be. So they could take your money, wipe out your account. Got videos about you. Listen, it's not worth going into the industry, y'all. It's not. If you got good talent, the people will support you. Give it time. Let's go.
From God for being responsible for breaking another person's gifting. That's not cool. So the person let me know, and it's going on record to say that when the time comes, they will step up to the mic and let it be known that was their assignment, to destroy my credibility.
Wow.
By way of making me look crazy in a relationship that was innocent and pure and real. As a matter of fact, it was so real and pure, you could tell by the nourishment of the music then was just pleasant. It was real. It was.
They didn't want them together. Did you hear what you just said? She said their relationship was pure. It was authentic. It wasn't fake. They did not want that to happen. The industry wanted them separated. And they took you get what's going on. You get what's going on. She gone, now he gone. Wow. It's a cold world, man. It's a cold, 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 evil world out here, y'all. If any other content creator talking about this, with the exception of Ringo and Brainwaves, if you see any other content creator talking about this, they get it from here. They got it from this channel here. Ain't nobody talking about this. The only ones that have an exception is Ringo and Brainwaves. If you hear any other content creator outside of Fabulous Studio, because he does content, if you hear any other content creator now bringing this to their platform, acting like they're doing the work, no, I did the work. I did the homework. I did the research. So if you outside of Ringo, Brainwaves, or Fabulous Studio, anybody else, y'all know who they are. Especially the ones who can't stand me. If they come on video, add Angie Stone to this. They got it from here. Because I am the #1 observation on YouTube. I am the #1. I am the top observer of all time. Yes, indeed. Let's go.
Pure. as a result, and I can only imagine the damage that stuff did to my career.
Wow.
I got a reputation at that.
I welcome you guys back on here. If you're new, consider subscribing, liking, and also share this video. So the singer, songwriter, and actress, and of course record producer Angie Stern passed away at the age of 63 in a car incident. So today we are going to look at her relationship with.
Okay, so the content creator that broke this down is Digital Media. Digital Media, I'm going to give him his props. Digital Media, shout out to him. He the one who broke it down. All right. Man, this is cold, man. Man, this is cold. Woo wee. Even whirling deep, Johanna. It is. It is. So for those who want to support the work, you can support the work via Cash App, via Venmo. If you want to support the Super Chat, you could do that. Appreciate it, Forever Studio, for making sure everything's good. We got Marilyn Edwards in the house, another moderator member. And we have Bridget, a moderator in the house. Thank you all for making sure everything's good. I'm going to say this in closure. We'll do a part 2 on the Stephen A. situation, and we'll get more up to date. I got to do research on his last speech in the hospital. I have to look for it. If somebody has it, send it to my Instagram. Send it to my Instagram at, Rallo, RALO 904. Send me a message. Send me the link. If you have his last message, hey, just send it. This is a very serious situation. I'm not going to speculate. However, based on what Angie Stone, that passed away, said about the situation, raise a lot of red flags. For real, it does. A lot of talented people get taken advantage of, y'all. You got to know your worth, your name. You got to know your worth, y'all. People are taking advantage of us, man, if we allow it. So that's all I got to say on that. I'll talk with y'all another time. Thank y'all for coming through. Double tap the like button on your way in. Shout out to those who subscribe to the channel. I appreciate that. I believe we got some new subscribers coming to the platform. Just make sure you hit all notifications. And I want to say something before I go. I made mention to this to Forever Studio, so I want to talk about it here. I believe that YouTube is going in a different direction because when I do long form content the other way, a lot of people don't get notification. I do believe YouTube is pushing the short format, and it might be only videos and premieres that you could do long form content. I think they're going to go away from the long form live stream content and do the short content because they realize there's more people viewing the short format. They think there's more that's more feasible. I don't have an issue with the long live form content. It's just that a lot of people didn't get the notifications. People was letting me know behind the scenes. I didn't get the notification to today. So I'm gonna do it periodically. However, I realized based on the short content, people prefer to view it in this format. So we got to go where people are into. People getting the notifications through that way. So I'm going to do it this way. Sometimes I would do long form content. Anyway, thank you all for viewing. I'm going to holler at y'all the next one. And y'all take it easy. Condolences to the family of D'Angelo. Died at 51. That's very young, man. Very, very, very young. We'll get back into the Stephen A. Smith and Jasmine Crockett part 2. So y'all take it easy out there.